Hi, this is Randy. In this video, I'm going to depart from my current venture, which is I'm writing a music to produce a new hip hop rap album, and I'm going to talk in this video briefly about Alzheimer's. It's a subject I think most people at some point in their life are going to encounter because we all get old, we all have parents that get old, grandparents, etc. Now, Alzheimer's was a doctor from the 1920s, something like that, from Germany, and he studied basically old age, dementia, which is a natural thing that happens with old people. Their brain chemistry begins to break down, a lot like a muscle begins to weaken and wither from lack of use and also from age as well. So be careful when people throw around the word, when you hear people throwing around the word Alzheimer. It's really just a political term. Alzheimer, like I said, brain dementia, old age, has been happening since the beginning of man, and it's been simplified into this word Alzheimer's. So it's has emotional appeal, and it makes for good political a good political topic or issue that can help legislators, politicians persuade and manipulate people into one direction or another, because it has such an emotional aspect or gripping effect. Because everybody is, like I said, affected and or will be affected by Alzheimer in some way. My father is currently obviously an old man. He's suffering from, quote, Alzheimer's, old age, dementia. And what'll happen is you'll at some point see a doctor, and he's going to tell you your father has Alzheimer's, and it's a progressively declining disease. Well, obviously, yes. If it is progressive, and it manifests itself by declining cognitive, mental ability, mechanical ability. There's all kinds of different forms of dementia, and it affects everybody in different ways because everybody has a different mental chemistry. But they'll say it's not curable, and it's only going to get worse. It can't get better, and then the decline cannot be stopped. This is certainly not true. And also, they're going to want to start prescribing antipsychotic drugs. And here's where you really should be concerned. Obviously, the brain chemistry is very complex, and because of this, they really can't put their finger on any one particular cause of this or one particular cause of that problem with regard to the brain function, because it's such a complex chemical phenomena. So they like to experiment with drugs. Drugs is a big industry now, and and a lot of them like to prescribe antipsychotic drugs to try to stimulate those parts of the brain that they think are breaking down or entropying, if I'm using that word correctly. And I am adamantly against using antipsychotic drugs. Maybe small doses in some cases, but in general, this is a shortcut. This is a quick fix to a management problem of Alzheimer patients. It's not a solution. I think it accelerates the problem and it makes it worse, but it also makes for easier management of these Alzheimer patients. A lot of times people throw these patients, people that suffer from Alzheimer into homes, and the first thing they start doing is pumping them with antipsychotic drugs. It makes them a lot more manageable, because an Alzheimer patient, like any old person, it gets senile and they can be stubborn and difficult to manage. Obviously, they need a lot of physical help, a lot of physical care in helping to get to bed, helping to go to the bathroom, helping to take a shower. But these people, more importantly than anything, they need cognitive therapy. And this is what they don't get at all, or if they get it if they get any cognitive therapy. It's a very small amount, and it's not, and it should be the largest portion of their treatment for Alzheimer's. Another thing is people throw their parents into these homes and they forget about them. These places are there to help assist people in caring for their mother, their father. It is not, they're not there for you to just leave them and abandon them and make that problem go away so you don't have to deal with it. No, you are as responsible for your parents' well-being, if they have Alzheimer's, as you are, as they were for when they raised you as kids. You cannot just abandon your parents to a care facility and bleed the Medicare system. And I've talked about Medicare, and there's a lot of issues on that side, but that's not the topic here that I want to discuss. Again, be aware of these antipsychotic drugs. It makes for easy management, and the big corporations, the big pharmaceuticals make a lot of money off these antipsychotic drugs, and the money all comes through the Medicare system. So it's a big scam. It's a big pyramid scam. Cognitive therapy. They need physical therapy as well. I mean, every day, if you have a Alzheimer's patient in a care facility, they need to have their face wiped twice a day. Now, this is outside of the shower of the bathing they get 2 to 3 times a week. Every day when they're woken up, they should have their face wiped, and in the afternoon they should get their face wiped again. They should also get stretched. Now, it all depends on that particular patient, if he's capable of walking or giving aid in walking, or if he can't walk, even with help, stretching his arms, stretching his legs. A lot like people do when they wake up in the morning, they stretch their arms. These old people need their arms and their legs stretched. It makes them feel better. The physical stimulates the mental. So if they're physically in anguish because they're dirty, because they're not stretched, their arms are sore, that affects their mental state. So the physical and mental work hand in hand with one another. They also should be played music every day, and not just old folks music, all kinds of music to stimulate their brain and enhance their memory. They need ego reinforcement. A lot of times these Alzheimer patients, because of their state of being, they come across as if they have the mentality of a 2-year-old. This is simply not the case. They have mechanical problems with mind with mind-body functionality. So they have a hard time speaking sometimes. They have a hard time talking. They have just a hard time communicating, whether it's verbally or physically. And so people think they're 2-year-olds and start talking to them like they're 2-year-olds. Well, how would you like to be talked to as if you were a 2-year-old? These people need ego reinforcement. They're adults, and they still have their ability to think, and they do know what's going on around them. Also, these facilities should be bringing in animals periodically. People like to see animals. Old people love to see animals. It stimulates their mind. It makes them feel happy. It makes them feel good. That helps your cognitive function, your mind, your ability to think and put your thoughts together. When you have a positive spirit, animals bring a positive spirit to the mental state of Alzheimer's patients. These facilities are not using modern technology, and they're not using modern equipment, a lot of them, the ones I've been to. And I'm going to have another video about all of that. And it's really appalling and an abomination that these facilities are not using the latest technology, and they're not using the latest equipment. And there is so much technology and equipment out there that will help the ambiance and the care for the equipment to help in the care of the hard work and helping senior citizens, like I said, go to the bathroom, take a shower, put their clothes on, sit down, get up, move, blah blah blah. There's a tremendous amount of equipment out there that's not being used by these Medicare facilities, and they're not using the latest technology. And the simplest thing would start bringing in some technology to where people can interact with their parents through the computer. They can see them on Skype and all the other forms of chat. They should simplify and have a media center that's made easy for these senior citizens